The hierarchy's too big. 378 cards is impossible to keep track of. It feels overwhelming. If you've got those kind of feelings, then I've got a great video for you guys today. If you love the hierarchy, but it just seems like it's too much, I'm gonna break it down for you and make it easy. Today, we're talking about 12 cards. There's 12 Michael Jordan atomic refractors in all of the world, in all of history. We're going to talk about each of those 12. We're going to look at the cards themselves. We're going to talk about the cards. We're going to look at the pops. We're going to look at the easiest to get, the cheapest to get, the most expensive, the lowest gem rate, the highest gem rate. We're going to do it all. I'm going to break it all down for you today. This is going to be the video for those of you looking to collect the 12 Michael Jordan atomic refractors. Are you tired of selling your cards on eBay, creating the listing, taking the pictures, front, back, shipping, non-paying bidders? Let the pros at Fanatics Marketplace do all of the work for you. I do. That's why I use Fanatics for my vaulting and for my selling. If you've got a bunch of unwanted inventory that you've been sitting on for days, weeks, months, years, ship it to Fanatics Marketplace and let them do all the work. Just make sure when you ship it, you use the promotional code Cajun, all capital letters, C-A-J-U-N, and tell them that Cajun Cardboard sent you, and let the pros do the rest at Fanatics Marketplace. All right, guys, Bryan with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and we're talking atomic today. Let's get atomic. I've got a presentation for you in a slideshow. Yes, every once in a while I put my Cajun brain together and I get my team of Cajun minions to put together a nice little presentation where we can look at some fancy graphics and things like this. This is about as next level, top notch audio video quality that I ever get. So here we go. I'm going to switch you over right now. Let's make sure we got this thing straight. Okay, here we go. How about that? The Michael Jordan atomic refractors. First, let's talk about some of the basics, okay? Let me make sure we're all on the same page. There's only 12 playing years atomic refractors. So for the years that Michael Jordan played basketball, there are only 12 atomic refractors at your disposal. You can do this. You can catch all 12 of these refractors, as Pokemon people would say. Catch them all. You can't get all 378 cards on the hierarchy, but the beauty of that hierarchy project, and again, if you don't know what the hierarchy is, check out the playlist on this channel and enjoy. Of the 378 cards, you can break that down into 50 mini hierarchies. Like if you only want to collect refractors, you only want to collect atomics, you only want to collect inserts, you only want to collect die cuts, you only want to collect 1994, you only want to collect ultra. You can do it a million different ways, and that's the beauty of collecting Michael Jordan is anybody can do it on any budget. You can go crazy nuts, mortgage your house, trust fund kid and do it, or you can just collect raw, right? With a couple with 2% of every paycheck that you get. Million ways to do it. Today's video, we're gonna make it digestible. 12 cards. Every atomic refractor is from one of 2 years. It's either 1996 or it's 1997. It's just that simple. That's all you got to remember. Again, we're talking about playing years. Atomics are found in only 3 products. I'll give you a hint. You probably should know this by now, but I'll give you a hint. If you're a hierarchy collector, you already know. But we're talking about Stadium Club. We're talking about Topps Stars Finest Atomic Refractors. And then we're talking about the Bowman's Best Atomic Refractors. Every atomic refractor has a regular refractor little brother, okay? So if you watch this video and you're like, you know what? Atomics are a little too rare, a little too low pop, a little too pricey. Let me just go ahead and collect the little refractor little brothers, and we'll do that on a little bit easier of a budget. Every refractor is easier to attain than its atomic big brother refractor. But if you've got, you want to put them on the table and you're going to put your money where your mouth is, literally a lot of money where your mouth is, then the atomic 12 are for you. Pricing atomics is very difficult. I just want to put this out here. I'm doing my best. In this video, I'm going to give you approximate value of these 12 atomic refractors in PSA 10 and in PSA 9. I can't go through every grade. I'm sorry. I can't go through raw because that's crazy variable. I can't go through every BGS grade, PSA 7, 8. I can't do it all. So again, the video is already going to be too long because you guys know how much I love to talk. Pricing is difficult. Just don't put me on the hook. And again, maybe 6 months from now, their prices are down. Unlikely. Maybe 6 months from now, prices are way up. way up. I have no idea, but don't hold me too accountable on the prices. I tried to put a range where the comps were a little bit tougher, but I did put some work in, and these should be relatively accurate as of today, which is August 9th, 2024. Again, I have a feeling this is a video people may watch in the thousands, maybe 10,000, you know, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road. So the prices aren't gonna matter much 10 years down the road, but the pop counts will, because they're not gonna change very much. And the pictures of the cards aren't going to change either, and then the titles of the cards aren't going to change. So should be a good video for future years. Atomics are very, very susceptible to hulking or greening. If your guys are new to the hobby, and you don't know what hulking or greening is, it's the tendency of certain cards based on the composite and the constituent materials that comprise them to change colors for the worse, not for the better, right? A beautiful, vibrant, colorful, perfect card can hulk or it can green over time. I do not know what causes it. If you say you know what causes it, you don't know what causes it, okay? So if anybody tells you, I know why those cards are greening, they don't. It has something to do with the chemicals in the cards. No, it is not exposure to light. Can excessive exposure to sunlight cause hulking or greening? Yes, it can cause fading on damn near any card. Anything you stick in the sun long enough is going to change colors, for gosh sakes. Human beings change colors when they stay in the sun. Cards will change colors if you expose them to excessive sunlight, but the vast majority of the cards that hulk or green are not because people are leaving them on their windowsill in their kitchen. It's because of something having to do with the chemical composition of the card, oxygen, humidity, weather changes, temperature, the top loaders, the penny sleeves they're in. It's something having to do with the chemical composition. I'm not a freaking scientist. I live in freaking Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so you know I'm not a scientist. 3 of the 12 atomics feature other NBA players in addition to Jordan. If you're a hierarchy stud, if you're a stud Jordan collector, you know which 3 cards I'm talking about. There's a pair of cards that feature Jordan on the front and then another player on the back. And then there is one card that actually features 4 players, which we're going to look at today. And if, you know, I kind of gave it away. You should know that if you collect cards on the Cajun Cardboard Michael Jordan hierarchy. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get cranking. Let's start with the biggest and the baddest. I shouldn't say that. Let's start with the biggest family of atomic refractors. 8 of the 12 emanate from Bowman's Best, 1996 and 1997. Here are those 8. The 1996 Bowman's Best Shots Atomic Refractor number BS6. Again, it's very evident the atomic nature of this card. As you can see, even in a 2D image, and again, I should have said this at the outset, you're never, ever going to be able to appreciate atomic refractors with a 2D image. I don't care how high a quality your picture is. 2D will never do what needs to be done. But even in this 2D image, you can see in the background that sort of refractor grid pattern just over Jordan's left shoulder on the right side of the card, up in that, you know, void in that space. So you could tell that's in a refractor right away. There is obviously, as I said, there's going to be a refractor version of every one of these cards, but that background it won't have that grid pattern. That's kind of what forms the atomic portion of refractor. That's what differentiates the refractor, the flat refractor, to the atomic refractors, that grid type pattern in the background, and you can really only appreciate it when you swivel it, and that goes not just for this Best Shots atomic refractor, it goes for every one. Pack odds on this one are, by atomic standards, very, very easy. 1 in 960 packs will net you a Michael Jordan Best Shots Atomic Refractor. Total graded by PSA and BGS together is 418. There are 149 gems, which yields a pretty damn decent, easy gem rate, to be quite honest with you. The PSA 10 value that you see pictured on your screen, somewhere in the 2,100 to 2,300 range. PSA 9 value, about 1/3 of that, maybe 1/4 of that, depending on where you're at. 600 to 650. So here's a card, you know, even in PSA 9, 3 figures. You can get that card in 3 figures. You can buy a raw one cheaper than that. You can buy an 8 cheaper than that. You can buy a BGS 8.5 way cheaper than that. So that's the Bowman's Best Shot Atomic Refractor. That's card number 1 in the Bowman's Best family. Card number 2 is a big dog, okay? So now we're talking about a freaking monster, and this is one, some of these cards pictured, by the way, are mine that I've pulled from my Fanatics Collect Vault. And by the way, if you want to support the channel, when you submit cards to Fanatics Collect to sell or to put in your vault, please consider using the promo code Cajun, all capital letters, CAJUN. It's a free way that you can support the Cajun Cardboard channel, and right now it's the only way, as of August 2024, that I monetize this channel. The 1996 Bowman's Best Cuts Atomic Refractor is a nasty little bear here. Look at that bottom right die cut. It's very unique. It's the only card like it. It very much stands out. You can see the atomic grid in the background on this one right here. Again, some of the 12 cards are going to be mine. This one's not. I only own a PSA 9 and a copy of this card, so this is not my card pictured. Pack odds are 1 in 3,840. That's 4 times as hard as the best shots that we just looked at. There are only 182 total graded, and then sit down for this. This is not the rarest, but it's pretty damn rare. There's only 35 graded gems, and as you can see, when you've only got 35 gems, your PSA 10 value is going to go up. As your pop goes down, your value goes up. It usually works that way, not always. There's still some arbitrage to be made in the Michael Jordan world, but not on this one. You ain't stealing this card. This PSA 10 is about 6,500 to 8,000. I put that big range on there just to cover my butt. PSA 9, 2,500 to 3,000. So anywhere from half to a third, which is pretty consistent throughout this video. You'll see. That's card number 2, the Bowman's Best Cuts, a much bigger card than the best shots that we just saw. The next one is the first card that features another player in addition to Michael Jordan, and it just so happens to be underrated Hall of Famer, legendary center, 2-time ring winner Hakeem Olajuwon, 1996 Bowman's Best Honor Roll Atomic Refractor HR2. Pack odds, exact same, 1 in 3,840. Total graded, 187. Total gems, 36. Again, this card is going to be very similar in total graded, very similar in gem, very similar in value to the best cuts we just looked at because the pack odds are the same, the gems are the same, the total graded is about the same. The PSA 10 value is pretty damn similar, 5,000 to 6,000. PSA 9 has been consistently selling in the 2,000 range. So I think the PSA 9s are going to move up in value as these 10s get gobbled up by people like me and others out there, and we're just not putting those back on the market. We're just not going to do it. And so you may have 36 total gems, but if 32 of them are in take it to the grave type collections or Cajun eternity situations, then the PSA 9s have got to run because it's the next best along with the BGS 9.5s. So just my thoughts. 1996 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor number 80. Monster card here. Pack odds a little bit easier than the last 2 we looked at. 1 in 3,000. That ain't exactly easy though. PSA graded 314. Grades a little bit tougher. Total gems 35. I am lucky enough to have a 10, and you're looking at it on the screen right now. The PSA 10 value, oh my gosh, $15,000 to $17,000. PSA 9 value, $2,000. Now, you don't need to be a freaking economist or a financial advisor or some kind of math wizard, but the last 3 cards we've looked at, the PSA 9 value's been about a third, a half of the PSA 10 value. Look at this one. This means one of 2 things. This is like 1/7, 1/8, something like that. That means one of 2 things. It means the PSA 10 is just violently, wildly, arbitrarily overpriced, or the PSA 9 is sitting at a value right now. It's a really good value. It's one or the other. Either the PSA 9 should be about $5,000, or the PSA 10 needs to be more like $6,000 or $7,000. I'll let you guys figure it out. That's up to you. We never know, but that's the age-old, the eternal dilemma that we face in the hobby when we collect Michael Jordan cards. Next is the 1997 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor number 60. Same exact pack odds. PSA graded, PSA BGS total graded between the 2 companies, 281. Total gems, 92. So many more gems, right? The reason this Bowman's Best number 80 is a $15,000 to $17,000 card, look at the total gems, 35. Look at the total gems for the card number 60, 92, almost, 2.5 times as many. That's why the PSA value is about half, a little bit less than half. PSA 9 value, again, seems like one of these has got to be right, one of these has got to be wrong, because the PSA 9 value is significantly lower than a third or than a half, right? So at 1,100, that to me, if you can get a clean copy with great coloring for 1,100, I think you're doing really well. in a long-term hold. Again, 281 ever graded. Do you realize how many 2024 Prism Victor Wembanyama cards are serial numbered to, 299 that are worth tens of thousands of dollars? It's not making any sense, right? I get it. I know it's his rookie year. Wembanyama's great. He's the next Jordan. He's the next Ralph Sampson, whatever you believe. But just sit down. Let's just sit down and think about it for a little bit here. 281 have ever been graded. We're talking about 27 years ago, 28 years ago, 26 years ago, something like that. That's a quarter century. If 281 have been graded, is this going to get to 381 graded? I really don't think it is. I just don't think it's ever going to get there. And we don't know if the gems are going to go up at all. Again, that's what Card Ladder's for if you want to go see the increase of the gems and the total graded over time. 1997 Bowman's Best Performance Atomic Refractor. A lot of people love this one. Again, we're staying consistent. 1 in 3,000 pack odds. It's got that kind of rainbow emanating out of the basketball. This one I have seen in many, many situations turn green. This one on your screen is a very good looking one because it's mine. Not that I'm biased, right? Total graded 192. Total gems 71. PSA 10 value 6,200 to 6,300. PSA 9 value for this card, number 96. This is the best performers. PSA 9 is about 1,800 to 1,900. So we're getting back into that, maybe 1/3 of the PSA 10 value. So this one looks kind of consistent right there. Next, we've got probably one of the cheapest, one of the easiest to attain. If you were going to say, you know what, Cajun, you got a big mouth. I can't resist you. You're so persuasive. I'm going to try to collect all 12 atomic refractors. Well, if you wanted to start with what I think is probably the easiest to obtain and probably the cheapest, regardless of what your grade is, whatever is going to float your boat, whether it's 8s, 9s, 10s, or even raw, this 1997 Bowman's Best Techniques Atomic Refractor number T2. Number T2 is probably where you want to start if you want to start at the bottom and work your way up the way the great Drake, hip-hop artist, suggested. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Start from the bottom, work your way up. A lot of people think the best way to collect a set, and you look, let's be real. This could be a set collector, right? This could be a set collector delight. You could say, I've got the entire atomic set of 12 cards. Some people like to start at the top and work their way down. We're going to look at the end of this video at the most expensive and the least expensive, at the highest pop, at the lowest pop, at the most gems, at the fewest gems. So don't worry, I'm going to tie it all together at the end. I know it's a lot of information to take in, but I wanted to put this out there so people could use this for years to come. Remember, you can always rewind and watch it again. You can always just hit record. You can also just create your own little 12-card spreadsheet, create your checklist in Excel like nerds like me do, and then check them off as you get them, and you can work your way from top to bottom or bottom to top. Either way works. Pack odds 1 in 960, easy by atomic refractor standards. PSA BGS total graded 475. That's a big number in the world of Michael Jordan. Total gems 169. That's more than some base Jordans that are out there. That's why the PSA 10 value is 2,000 and the PSA 9 value is a paltry, right? A blue collar, $600 to $750. So literally, with a little bit of work, a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of hard work, and a few shekels, you can put a PSA 9 atomic refractor in your Michael Jordan collection today, probably. 1997, Bowman's Best Mirror Image Refractor, number MI1. Okay, so this is the card that I was referencing that has 4 players on it. That you would think, 4 players, 3 of them are really good players. Ron Mercer, if you're a Kentucky fan, let's go for it. Go 96 Cats, one of the greatest college teams of all time under Rick Pitino. But let's just stick with the Jordan here. So adding those 4 players probably diminishes the value of the card. If the card had just Jordan on the card, it would probably be worth more, to be quite honest with you. It's funny how that works in the hobby. When you add an autograph of a very good player to LeBron and Jordan, like a Kevin Garnett, the card value goes down than if it was just LeBron and Jordan. You would think that the more the better, but it's not always working out that way. That's the case with this mirror image, and that's why the mirror image is also extremely, extremely affordable, because honestly, there's not that many of them graded, and the pack odds are twice of the card we just saw. So 1 in 1,920 pack odds, 218 total graded, 134 gems, which means it grades really, really well amongst PSA and BGS. That is over a 50% gem rate by my math calculations, even down here in South Louisiana. PSA 10's about a 900 to 1,000. If you can jump on this card for less than $1,000, I think that's something to do. That's very rarely do I tell people what to do, but If you can find any of the atomic refractors at less than $1,000 in a PSA 10 value, I'm sorry. I mean, there's base cards out there that are thousands of dollars. I would think that a 1 in 1,920 pack odds atomic refractor Jordan that also happens to feature Hall of Famer Gary Payton as well as Stephon Marbury. Now, part of the problem is Jordan's upside down on this card. Part of the problem is half of these are slabbed the wrong way or upside down or whatever. Do you want Jordan facing up? Do you want Jordan facing down? Is it front, back? You know, obviously they've got it right on the picture that you see. The card number should be on the back. You know, Bowman's Best faces you, but the NBA logo at the bottom doesn't. This is a tricky one, right? But they definitely have the front as Mercer and Jordan. That is correct because the card number should always go on the back when you get your card slabbed. Less than $1,000 in PSA 10. It can be done. It can be done. Have faith. Be patient. And then the PSA 9, 500 to 600. Get it done, guys. Get it done. All right, we're done. That's it. That was the 8 Bowman's Best. We've gone through the meat of the lineup, you know, the heart of the order, and now we're going to Stadium Club, and there's only one. And you should know this. You guys should know which what atomic refractor is Stadium Club. I'll give you a hint. It also features Jordan and open quotes, the next Jordan, close quotes, right? You know, there's been a long list of the next Jordans, right? It was Kobe. It was, you know, Grant Hill. It was, I'm trying to leave this guy out. It was Vince Carter, right? Went to the same university and everything. Well, this guy also went to North Carolina. He was also one of the next Jordans and just never quite got there, albeit a good player nevertheless. Jerry Stackhouse. So it's going to be the Stadium Club Class Axe Atomic Refractor CA1, Jordan on the front, Stack on the back. Of all the cards we're going to look at today, okay, and this is just based on my personal observation, I want you guys to comment below if you think I'm bananas. This card, more than any other card we're going to look at today, has a hulking or greening tendency. I have seen more green cards of this card than any other card that we're going to look at out of the 12 cards that we look at today. So this Atomic Refractor is the most susceptible to changing colors. Pack odds 1 in 9,000, 1 in 1,920. Series 2 only. Remember that. Series 2 only. Jordan on the front, Stack on the back. Another issue to pay very close attention to with this card, and this is why you'll see, look at the gem rate on this. 339 graded, that's a lot. 51 gems, that's not a lot. And part of the reason is the greening, but the primary reason is it starts with a C. Do you guys know what it is? Centering. The centering on this card is oftentimes horrific. I don't just mean, you know, 40-60. I don't even mean 30-70. I have seen centering on this. You see the blue and white checkerboard border. You're supposed to have those as the equidistance, the same thickness, the same width all the way around, right? The front of this looks good. The back, you can tell it's a little bit off left to right. And I'll give you a little hint. This is the card back you're looking at is different than the card front. I pulled the back from one image and I pulled the front from a different image. But those borders are supposed to be equidistant, same width, same thickness, same, you know, distance, all that stuff. Well, you can tell on the Stackhouse on the back, it's not. I've seen them so bad where you can only see 2 of the borders. Like you literally can't see the left and the bottom. And if you watch some of my grade reveal videos from the cross country collection, I had one. There was one from the cross country collection in there. I can't remember if it was atomic or if it was just a regular refractor, but I could only see 2 of the blue and white borders instead of 4. This card's been graded 339 times. That's a lot by Jordan standards. 51 gems, that's not a lot. There's just not a lot of these out there, and it's clearly featuring Jordan on the front, which I think is makes it more valuable than if it was Jordan and Stackhouse on the front, and then, you know, fill in the blank, Joe Smith and Chris Webber on the back or something crazy like that. PSA 10 value 1,250 to 1,750. It's a pretty wide range there, and again, I think that has more to do with coloring than anything. And then the PSA 9 value is 375 to 500. 375, man, that is too cheap. There's PSA 10 upper deck cards, for God's sakes, ultra cards, early Stadium Club base cards with, you know, pops that are way higher than 51 that are selling for $500, 300, 400, $500. You can get an Atomic Refractor PSA 9 colored for 375 to 500. Seems too cheap. Seems too cheap. And then here we go. These are the last 3, and these are probably, honestly, the 3 refractors that people are the least familiar with. They're the 3 refractors that come from a product that people just don't even know about. It's a little bit confusing because the word finest is in the title of the card, but the product is just 1996 Top Stars, okay? It's just 1996 Top Stars, but there's Finest Refractors, and then there's Top Stars Finest Atomic Refractors. Well, these are the Top Stars Finest Atomic Refractors. You will see them mislabeled. You will see them misdescribed in the title on eBay or wherever they're listed. Even auction houses get it wrong. They'll leave out the word finest, or they'll put just Topps Finest. That's not correct, because Topps Finest is a separate and distinct product in and of itself. These are the 3 Top Stars Finest. They're a little bit weird. They don't hit you like the other ones hit you. They don't really quite tell the same story. Maybe it's because they're all in the same year. Maybe it's because they're they don't have a name, like a special name. It's not a subset atomic or an insert atomic. It's just the base card with an atomic parallel. This is the 1996 Atomic Stars Finest number 24. It goes 24, 74, 124. It's easy to remember. They're 50 apart. 24 plus 50 is 74. 74 plus 50 is 124, and that's how I remember them. The pack odds for all 3 of these, spoiler alert, is 1. Okay, are you ready for this? 14,400. 1 in 14,400 for all 3 of these cards. That's pretty serious. If you want to, on average, pick up all 3 of them, let me do some quick math. You're talking about 1 in 43,200. Did I do that right? Yes, I think that's right. PSA BGS total graded for card number 24, 81. Total gems, 24. In case you're scoring at home, that's damn near about as low as it gets for any of the cards that you're going to see today. PSA 10 value, big time. 4,000 to 6,000. PSA 9 value, 1,000 to 1,300. Adjust accordingly. These cards are very expensive. Next, 1996 Finest Atomic Refractor number 74. Again, I should have said this at the outset. These 3 also green quite often. And the one you're looking at is a PSA 10, and it looks to me to have a tinge of green. It's in an old label, so it could have greened after it gets slabbed. Yes, you heard me right. I don't mean to scare the hell out of you, but these cards and any cards that are susceptible to greening and hulking, it can happen after you put them in the slab. So it might be a PSA 10 perfect color the day it gets graded. 7 years later, it might be a PSA 10 green as hell. So this one has a tinge of greening, and it's in a PSA 10 slab, albeit a PSA old label. And by the way, yeah, okay, good. 1996 Top Stars, number 74. Same pack odds, we talked about it. About the same total graded, 79. Look at the gems, 15. And that leads to what you see on your screen. PSA 10 value, 9 to 11,000. PSA 9 value, 2 to 3,000. Big numbers for these cards. That's card number 74. That's Golden Season. Like some people refer to it as the Golden Season Atomic Refractor, and you can see it over there on the left. And it's referencing Jordan's 1990-91 season, as you can see down at the bottom. But that Golden Season over here, that little label right there, you don't really hear. People mostly refer to it as the number 74. They know there's 3 NBA, Top Stars, Finest Atomic Refractors. So I don't know. I don't ever hear it say, did you get the Golden Season Atomic Refractor? You just don't hear that very often. And then the last card we're going to talk about today, before we get to the summary where I tie it all together, the 1996 Top Stars Finest Atomic Refractor number 124. So the last, 2474, this is the 124, and I am very excited that I just picked this up, and I am not excited that I probably overpaid for it, but there's 36 of them out there. It's been graded 94 times, so it's a little bit, for whatever reason, a few more graded, and it grades a little easier, and you can't even tell from this 2D image that it's an atomic refractor. You, honest to God, you can't really tell. You got to move the thing around. These 3 NBA Topps Stars Finest Atomics are probably the hardest to, or they have the least atomic refractor technology. Like, it's the most subtle, I guess I should say. It doesn't jump out and kick you in the nuts. I mean, you got to look for it, right? Especially in a 2D image. PSA BGS total graded 94, total gems 36, so much more than the 24 and the 74. PSA 10 value lower, 5,000. I can tell you that's going up because I just set a new comp. PSA 9 value 1,000 to 2,500. No, it's not for sale. And I think let's see, I am 10 out of 12. I've got 10 out of 12, and I've got 9 out of 12 in PSA 10. So I'm getting there. I don't know if I'll ever get to the finish line because these stupid top stars PSA 10s are so expensive, and I don't want to spend 20 grand to pick up the last two, but it looks like that's where we're headed, right? And there's just not that many of them out there, to be quite honest with you. So I might have to be okay with a PSA 9. Even a PSA 9 is going to set you back 3, 4, 5, 6 grand combined if you're going to pick up two of these. But that does it. That's all 12 of them right there. Let's keep going. There's more to talk about. All 12 atomics can be found in Tier 3 or Tier 4 of the Hierarchy Project. Remember, it's not based on value. The Hierarchy Project is based on 4 factors: supply, demand, aesthetics, and value. Demand, demand, demand. It should be based on 7. Demand should count as 3, or based on 6. Demand should count as 3. Demand is by far the most important, and for whatever reason, call it however you want, comment whatever you want to say in the comments, the 3 Topps Stars atomic refractors are probably the 3 least demanded, least sought after, least talked about, least recognizable, and for that reason, despite their high price tag, right, the big dogs still want those cards. I want that card. The big boy collectors out there, they want to snatch those cards in the highest grade possible. They just don't pop like the Bowman's Best atomic refractors, and they're just not as recognizable and not as highly sought after, despite the fact that they are more rare and they have much, much harder pack odds. And so you'll find them in Tier 4. All of the cards that we looked at today, all 12 of them are Tier 3 or Tier 4. Let me know in the comments if there's an argument to put any of these into Tier 2. And before you say, yeah, for sure it's in Tier 2, it's 1 in 3,960, blah, 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 or 920, go look at what's in Tier 2. You got to bump something out. So to put something in, you got to take something out. And so what are you taking out to put one of those Bowman's Best or that Stadium Club or these Top Stars finest refractors, to put them into Tier 2, you got to take something out. So go back and check it out for yourself, guys. If you're looking for them, yes, all 12 appear in the Hierarchy Project. And remember, one of the rules of the Hierarchy Project is you will see the atomic refractor. You will not see you will not always see a separate listing for the little brother refractor. Some of them you will, some of them you will not. It's just one of those deals. We had to keep the cards under a certain number, otherwise you couldn't even fit them on a poster. And if you're interested in a poster, that's another way you could support the Cajun Cardboard channel. Check out the YouTube description, message me on Instagram, or follow the directions. You can pick up a Michael Jordan Cajun Cardboard Hierarchy poster, glossy, front, back, has the entire pack odds list for all 378 cards. It's, to my knowledge, the largest in print Michael Jordan pack odds list in the world. On the front, it's got high def images, 2 foot by 3 foot poster of 378 of Michael Jordan's best 90s inserts and parallels, and some great stuff from the 80s as well. It's a great checklist to use. It's a great guide. It's not the answer key, but it's a guide of all of the different ways that you can collect Michael Jordan cards from the 90s, and it's a huge educational piece. And it also displays really well if you put it in a nice little thin black frame, put it up in your office or your man cave or your lady cave. Lady cave, that sounds terrible. Anyway, let's get back to it. All right, the easiest odds. Which cards have the easiest odds? And I've got them pictured here for you. It's the Best Shots Atomic, and it's the Techniques T2 Atomic. We saw those pack odds. They were less than 4 figures, like 1 in 960, I think. So those are the easiest pack odds. The toughest, we talked about it at the very end of the video. It should be no surprise. 1 in 14,400 is a big number. Those are hard to pull. The 3 Topps Stars NBA Finest. Next, the cheapest PSA 10, believe it or not, is not the lowest pack odds. It is the mirror image. And like I said, it might be because Jordan's upside down on some of them. Hang on, my lights just went out. I'm not moving around enough. Okay, I'm back on. It's the mirror image. It's probably because there's 4 players on it, and so it's only 1/4 attributed to Jordan. Maybe not. I have no idea. But that's the cheapest PSA 10. The most expensive was the big dog that we talked about. That's in that $15,000 to $17,000 range. And I swear, I think one of these sold for well into the 20,000s not too long ago, less than a year ago, maybe less than 2 years ago for sure. You guys go check it out on your own data pricing tool. I use Card Ladder, but y'all check it out wherever you want. I think one of these things hit 24,000, maybe even 26, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. The highest gem pop, meaning the most gems, not gem percentage, but just the most number of PSA 10s and BGS 9.5s combined, would be the Techniques, and the lowest gem pop would be the Golden Season, the number 74, 1996. NBA Topps Stars Finest number 74 would be the lowest gem pop, the hardest one to find. And that's why I think there's one on eBay right now, and it's priced at some exorbitant number, like 15 grand or 12 grand, or I don't know, something like that. Maybe more than that, I don't know. But it also, you know, when you look at it, you kind of see green on it, so it just worries me. The highest total graded pop is the same thing. The highest total graded pop is also the highest gem pop. The lowest total graded pop is also the lowest gem pop. And so the same two cards hold for those as well. That's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I can't answer every question about these atomic refractors, but I hope I answered a lot of your questions. Which one of these is your favorite? You know, don't base it on price, just base it on what you're looking at. Which one do you look at and you say, golly, that thing really jumps out and smacks me across the face? Which one do you guys want the most? Let me know if I got anything wrong. I talk fast. I talk a lot. I try to jam it in here in 35 minutes. Hopefully we'll get out of here in 35 minutes. You know, maybe I misspoke. If I did, I apologize. But I'm trying to kind of put a nice little bow around the atomics, and so you can kind of keep this video over to the side. If you want to know more about atomic refractors, here you go. I'm probably going to save this in the Cajun Cardboard Michael Jordan hierarchy playlist. Because all of these cards are featured in the hierarchy, and it kind of flows as almost like an offshoot, as a subset of the overarching hierarchy project. So I'll probably save it in that playlist, so if you ever want to go back and find it again, you'll know where to find it. Of course, if you're listening to this, you're watching it now, and you could just hit replay or whatever. But let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if there's a 13th atomic that I don't know about. That's possible too. I am old, and my brain is small, and I don't know everything about Jordan cards. I'm learning every day, just like those of you watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. One way that you can support the channel for free is using the promo code Cajun with Fanatics Collect. If you're going to sell or vault your cards, it's real simple. Whenever you do a submission, they're going to have a promo code field. Just put in Cajun, all capital letters, C-A-J-U-N. You can buy a hierarchy poster. That's easy. I can ship up to, I think, 8 in a tube safely, so they arrive with no wrinkles. If you want to know more about that, I got a million videos on the channel about that. I've still got plenty in inventory. Those are for sale. And then another way that you can really help me, it takes 2 seconds, and you can do it right this second. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon for notifications, or take this video, hit the share button, send it to somebody and say, hey, you may need to check out this dude from Louisiana. He's doing some things. He doesn't know everything. He really has forgotten more than he's ever learned, quite likely, but he's very consistent, the most consistent basketball card content creator in the hobby without question. Maybe not the best, maybe not the smartest, maybe not the most articulate, but certainly the most consistent. That's the one thing I can control, right? How many videos I pump out, making sure they mean something. Education, entertainment, that's what I'm trying to accomplish. Hopefully I did that for you guys today. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.